everyone. We are so happy to have you here tonight for our open house event. If you haven't already, please introduce yourself in the chat and tell us where you're located. I love seeing all of those names and states coming through already, so that is fantastic. While you are wrapping that up, we will do some introductions as well. My name is Maddie, and I'll be hosting this evening along with my colleague Betsy. A little bit about me. I am an SLP by trade, and I worked with Presence as a provider before I switched to my current role as a clinical empowerment manager. I'm calling in from Bellingham, Washington this evening. It looks like the majority of you are from the East Coast, so I'll be the West Coast representative. But yeah, we're in the dark days of winter over here, but looking forward to the holiday season and being here with you all tonight. Betsy, I'm going to pass it over to you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, welcome everyone. I'm Betsy Glover. I am also an SLP by trade, and I also started with Presence as a provider myself all the way back in 2014, and I've been doing teletherapy ever since. I now work here with Presence as a clinical success manager, and I'm coming from the Gulf Coast down in Alabama, so nice and sunny still down here for us. So we're not quite feeling winter just yet. So glad to be here tonight and looking forward to giving you a little sneak peek of our platform.
Awesome. Thanks, Betsy. We also have members of our clinical team and recruiting team here tonight. So Amy Dunn is joining us, and she is a senior clinical empowerment manager. She is here to answer any questions you have from a clinical perspective, along with Betsy and I. She is also an SLP and truly, truly amazing and an expert in teletherapy and all things presence. Gracie Mijares and Phaedra Gray are also here tonight, and they are joining us from the recruiting side of things. They're amazing, of course, as well, and here to answer any questions you have about becoming a clinician with us. So the logistics. Amy, Gracie, and Phaedra will be keeping an eye on the chat this evening. So if you have any questions as we go along, please put them there. This is truly a safe space, a space to learn, a space to inquire. So again, please don't hesitate to put those questions in the chat. And again, I'm just seeing more and more names come through. So thank you so much for participating so far in the chat. Looks like we have a couple more coming through, and yeah, people from all over the country, which is great. I'm going to put up a poll question up on the screen right now so we can learn a little bit more about why you are all here tonight. You answering this question will really help to shape the conversations this evening. So again, please participate in those. And if you don't see it pop up, it should pop up in the chat. Let's see. Well, it looks like it might not be popping up. So if it's not, go ahead and put in the chat why you're here tonight, and I'll keep an eye on those as we go along, okay? All right. Oh, here it is. There we go. So go ahead and answer that poll question. I'll give you just a few seconds here so you can tell us the main reason you're joining us. So good. I see a few people are here to see the platform. And then a couple of you are here to learn more about Presence specifically. A few of you are here to learn about teletherapy in general, which is great. We will absolutely touch on all of those things tonight. And, we have an hour set aside. It is going to go by super quick, I promise you. So finish answering that poll. And while you're doing so, I'm going to dive on into the agenda. So like I said, we have an hour. What we'll do is we'll take the first 20 minutes or so to go ahead and give you a general overview of teletherapy and Presence so that you really have that foundational understanding of who we are and what we do and the types of opportunities that we have and the requirements to join our team. Betsy's then going to take over and walk us through a demo of our award-winning platform so you can really get a sense of the tools and the resources that we offer to you and that you will use in your day-to-day when you're a provider with us. We'll, of course, then talk through the personal and the professional benefits of being a clinician within our network and walk you through the steps you will take in order to join us. Again, don't hesitate to put those questions in the chat as we go through. All right. So first things first, why is teletherapy important? Now, I know a lot of us were thrown into doing virtual services at one point or another with the pandemic, right? Raise your hand if you were. I know I was. Yeah, I'm seeing hands go up and up and up and up, right? Now, this, what virtual services looked like was different depending on your setting and the situation. But for many of us, myself included, the transition to doing these virtual services was sudden and it was tough. Right? Schools really didn't have the time to put student and clinician supports in place. I'm thinking things like communication protocols, accessible learning and development opportunities, materials, resources, really support in general. And we as clinicians were on our own, left trying to figure it all out. Now, with Presence, your experience will look different when then compared to what you experienced in the past, because here at Presence, we are prepared and we do have the experience necessary to do teletherapy right. And teletherapy done right can be so beneficial for all parties involved. So, for clinicians such as yourselves, teletherapy can really support you both personally and professionally. It's truly a new and exciting way of working where you can work on your own terms, right? You can have the flexibility in designing your schedule. You have extra time focused on supporting your students and really the therapy that they need versus doing things like bus duty, lunch duty, and all of those extras. Now, for the schools, teletherapy offers custom solutions to a lot of barriers that they face to delivering top quality special education services. These barriers could be staff shortages. It could be budget for materials and assessments. I mean, I can think of the times where I'd call up all my colleagues and say, hey, wait, do you have the self? No, wait, do you have the self? There was only one floating around the district, right? So teletherapy really offers these flexible solutions based on student needs, which can absolutely vary year to year. Right? So, why should you do teletherapy with Presence? Now, in order to answer this question, I really want to start with who we are. So, Presence is a nationwide company that specializes in teletherapy. We offer the platform that you need, more support, and more experience in this space. So, starting with the platform, our award winning teletherapy platform was designed by clinicians for clinicians, meaning we've taken a look at what clinicians need to do their job effectively and efficiently, and we've created a convenient and a supportive way to do so. Now, I could chat forever about the platform. I love our platform, but as I mentioned earlier, that's Betsy's thing. So she's going to walk you through, and you'll be able to see that in action here in a little bit. So let's go to support. I saw a quote a couple months back posted by an SLP that said, every SLP needs a friend who gets it. And being an SLP myself, I really couldn't agree more. And here at Presence, there are many clinicians over here on the quote unquote corporate side of things that are really involved in the day-to-day decisions regarding how we support you and what programs and resources we implement. So you're going to have a dedicated clinical liaison, best-in-class professional learning resources, and a community of providers, a lot of SLPs, right, at your fingertips. Now we'll go to experience. So we've been around since 2009. So that's well before the pandemic, well before the teletherapy boom. And since 2009, our 2,000 plus clinicians have worked with over 10,000 schools to deliver over 6 million sessions to students nationwide. Okay, so that is huge. We've been committed to Presence. When I say we, Presence has been committed to breaking down barriers in this space and being at the top in terms of clinical standards and tools for, what is that? I'm an SLP, not a mathematician, but I believe that's 14 years. Okay, so for a long, long time, we've been committed to our providers and to our students across the nation. All right, so how are assignments determined? Now, when you join our network, we match you to assignments with either brick and mortar or virtual schools nationwide. And when I say assignments, I really mean your caseload or the opportunity that you take on when you're a part of our network. So I want to walk you through, how these assignments are determined. So in a nutshell, we use the information that you provide to us in terms of your availability, areas of expertise or preferences, and credentials to match you to an appropriate assignment. So availability, let's start there. That's really based on your terms. We have clinicians that work 5 hours a week, up to 40 hours a week, and anywhere in between. And there's a lot of flexibility in terms of what those hours look like. And this workday flexibility is huge and is something that is so different for those of us that come from a traditional school-based setting or really a traditional work environment in general, right? And what we found is that this flexibility alone can be so supportive when you're burnout or you're ready for a change in general. Okay. And when I say flexibility, I mean that clinicians don't have to work a standard 8 or 9 hour day if they don't choose to, right? We have providers that choose to start their day a little bit later. Maybe they want to have mornings to themselves, or maybe they want to drop off their kids at school or pick them up, right? We have providers that work full-time elsewhere and then get another license in a different time zone to supplement their current work day. So the availability can really look different for everyone. The one thing to keep in mind here is that our opportunities are all school-based. So you do have to have availability during the school day in whatever time zone you're working in. And of course, the more flexible your availability, the more opportunities that we can send your way. Okay. So I want you guys to start thinking, what do you want your ideal work week to look like? Okay. So start thinking about that. All right. So what does the job entail? Let's dive a little bit deeper there. So when you join our network, you will assume the role and responsibilities of an on-site provider for the majority of our assignments. So this means direct therapy, assessments, and case management. So you will deliver direct therapy and conduct assessments using our proprietary platform and integrate yourself into the district to follow their policies and procedures in terms of IEPs and case management. Now, I mentioned support earlier, myself as a clinical empowerment manager, for example, and then Betsy as a clinical success manager. So together, those two roles collaborate and work with you and the district. Now, as a reminder, all these clinical leaders are licensed and credentialed and have previously conducted teletherapy within our Presence network. So what does that mean? Well, it means that they understand your work, and they can be an advocate for you and the clinical perspective throughout every stage of assignment delivery and development. So what they do, our clinical success team works with the district to develop manageable caseloads from the beginning, and they're there to advocate for you as the year progresses. I say this because I know as we're talking about what your job entails, caseload and workload is going to come up, right? It's a huge one for SLPs. And I know many of us are curious about what manageable workloads mean specifically, right? And want to know caseload numbers. Now, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to give that to you tonight because ultimately your caseload is really going to depend on your individual circumstances. That means the number of hours that you work with us each week. That means the nature of the students that you work with, and that also means the district needs and the requirements, okay? Just know that our teams are there to support you and honor those boundaries, okay? In terms of caseload, though, you can expect a traditional school-based caseload with the majority of our students working or being, they're not working, we're working, but there's those students being pre-K up through 12th grade. Now, just as in the school setting, these children will have a wide range of needs, from those with mild needs to those with more significant impairments as well. We also have specialty assignments where we serve students with visual impairments, those that are deaf and hard of hearing or utilize ASL, and those who utilize AAC. Okay. Now, the frequency and duration of your sessions is going to be dependent on the IEP, right? So the IEP will also guide you in terms of individual versus group sessions. I bring this up because a lot of us are used to seeing students in huge groups. That won't be the case with us. Our platform is compatible to support smaller groups, typically 3 or fewer students in a group. Okay. So to wrap up caseload, again, these numbers are really going to depend on your availability and the needs of the students. Okay. Now, to support you with your assignments, we are going to provide you with an information school handbook. And this is going to include contact information for school personnel, information regarding policies and procedures, steps to obtain IEP system access, etc. This handbook also typically includes the school calendar. Now, you will follow the school calendar for the district or the districts that you are working at, and you're going to work with your clinical empowerment manager for any specific time off requests. Now, as I mentioned, you're going to integrate yourself into the district and follow their procedures. So you're going to follow the makeup policy at the district as well. We're also going to provide you with the materials and the resources that you need for therapy and for assessments. And these resources come from industry leaders like Pearson and ProEd, as well as in-house learning and development opportunities. We also have an in-demand tech support team that is available during school hours and directly from the platform. Betsy can show us that later if we want, in case something happens during your session. Okay. So what's a day in the life of a presence clinician? I just gave you the big overview, but we'll go through a couple of quick examples. So let's start with Cassandra. So Cassandra lives on the East Coast and she works in a school in California. That means that she has the morning to wake up, drink her coffee, spend some quality time with her two girls. Then her help comes over around 11 and she then begins her day. So because she's at home, she's able to take some breaks, eat a nourishing lunch, take care of her baby, and of course, wrap up her day with her documentation and reviewing her planning for the next day. She then has dinner, puts her family to bed, and if need be, she can finish up some paperwork while her girls are sleeping. Now we go over to Jennifer, who jumps right into her workday. She's an early bird and she jumps right in. So she typically spends her mornings starting her day answering work emails, reviewing her schedule and IEP due dates. She then does some therapy planning and upcoming assessment planning, provides her therapy, does her documentation, attends an IEP meeting, and repeats. Right? Throughout the day, she finds herself chatting with parents, fellow providers, and district staff. All right. Does my background make me a good fit? So we have, ultimately the short answer is yes. So what we've done is we've designed programs and have systems in place for you to be successful no matter your background. So if you have 30 years of experience in the schools, or maybe you've spent your entire career in private practice, we have a spot for you. Now, for those of you that have experience in the schools, we will help familiarize you with our systems and be here as a resource as you transfer your skills from on-site to teletherapy. For those of you that are new to providing school-based services or maybe reside in practice in Canada, we do have resources in place for you to help you make the switch to this setting. Depending on where you reside and our current opportunities, you're either going to join our network as an independent contractor, so as a 1099, or as an employee, a W-2. All right, and you might be thinking, okay, Maddie, this sounds fantastic, but we're in the middle of the school year. Are there even opportunities for me now? And the answer is yes. We have opportunities nationwide right now, and we continue to have opportunities all year long. To name a few of our opportunities, we do have immediate openings in California, including some options to work up to 40 hours a week. We also have immediate openings in Georgia, Wisconsin, and Vermont. Again, these are just to name a few. So if you don't have licenses there, don't worry. Apply, talk to a recruiter about those opportunities. And remember that you always have the option to obtain an additional license or licenses, depending on your schedule or depending on what we recommend based on your current licenses. If you are interested in obtaining additional licenses, please know that we have a whole team that specializes in this process. I know it can be confusing, but they're going to be there to help you navigate through the process. Okay. And to help you get started, the first step is to apply. This is a really quick and easy process. So we're going to go ahead and throw that application link in the chat. So you can click on it, save it, bookmark it, do what you have to do, or even start applying now. But once you begin that process, a recruiter is going to reach out. They're going to be able to discuss your options and the details around joining our network based on your individual circumstances. All right. We're going to go ahead and switch gears here. Now that you have a general overview of who we are, what we do, what opportunities we have, so that you can really put yourself in the shoes of a clinician and see how to utilize our systems, provide therapy, conduct assessments, etc. Okay, so with that, I'm going to stop compensation. I did see a lot of questions coming up. So we'll go through a general overview here. Now, I do want to be very clear that, again, this is going to be dependent on your individual circumstances. So once you apply, your recruiter will be able to walk you through what pay is going to look like for you, what your status, your employment status will be, etc. Okay, but in general, we consider pay to be a total compensation package. Okay, so when you work with us, you're going to be compensated at an hourly rate for your direct and indirect time, unplanned student absences, and evaluations. Okay, now when I say indirect time, I mean anything from talking to a parent to collaborating with school staff to your documentation, your planning, maybe writing those IEPs, participating in those IEP meetings, all of those indirect tasks that are associated with school-based work. Okay, that hourly rate, and that's mostly for your direct and indirect time, is going to be based on your overall years of experience and the location of the assignment. Okay, of course, there are a couple of nuances to that as well. So again, that's why it's so important to talk to your recruiter. Now, we also do have an amazing referral program that gives you the opportunity to earn extra income as well. And then in terms of extras that go into that compensation package, remember that you do have access to our award-winning teletherapy platform. You also have free access to Kanga, which is a version of our platform that can be used for private practice use. So again, you'll have free access to that. We also offer an amazing perk program. This includes no-cost ASHA-accredited continuing education courses, discounts to CE membership programs, access to all of these materials and assessments from these top-notch publishing companies, all for free. Okay, this is not an exhaustive list. So again, talk to your recruiter for more specific information. Speaking though of ASHA accredited CE courses, we do have a super exciting special offering that is available through January 2nd. So we are offering an ASHA accredited, a no cost ASHA accredited CE. I know that ASHA renewals are coming up, so this is a great way to get those credits in before the new year. This course is called Incorporating Neurodiversity, Affirming Approaches for SLPs. It is an amazing course, so definitely take advantage. You can scan the QR code on your screen, or you can go to presence.com/events to sign up for this CE. Going to the website is amazing because you'll be able to see this and all of our events in the future. So really, it's just a great page to bookmark. When you go to register, it's super important that you use this code that you see on the screen. So everybody take a second, jot that down. That way you have that handy. Okay. Okay. And this is just one of many. You'll have access to other no-cost CEs once you join our network. Okay. All right. So just to summarize, I do want to walk you through our hiring process so that you know what to expect. The first step, again, is to apply. That application link has been thrown into the chat. We'll throw it again in there. After you apply, you'll connect with a recruiter, and they're going to guide you through the application process, answer your questions, and discuss your offer, as well as current incentive opportunities. Okay. You're then going to go through onboarding. I did see in the chat, whoa, are we going to have time to practice with this platform? Absolutely. And learn the platform. Absolutely. Okay. During onboarding, you're going to go through a series of modules that's going to walk you through how to navigate the system. You're going to have access to these modules ongoing, as well as Help Center articles and your peers and Amy, Betsy, myself, and our colleagues. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities for you to get used to the platform, with your first glimpse being during onboarding. Okay. Once that's complete, we'll get you your assignment and you'll be rocking and rolling. Okay. Again, yes, we have a lot of students that are in need of services right now. So please, if you're ready, even if you're just interested, go ahead and apply. It's a really quick and easy process. Okay. All right.